He's with me.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. Thank you so much for joining us at our Sunday service. We are going to begin now with a few songs to bring the spirit in, so please rise from your seats and join us in singing. We're going to start with Down by the Riverside. Yes, and please come closer. Come closer. You got it. Down by the riverside, much, brothers and sisters. Welcome to our Sunday service. So grateful that everyone was able to be here. We are the Capital Family Church, contemporary ministry of the Unification Church, founded by Reverend Dr. Sangman Moon and Reverend Dr. Hak Jahan Moon. So can we please give a round of applause to our founders? We're so grateful for them creating this community for us. And yeah, I hope that we can have an amazing Sunday service. So firstly, we have some brothers and sisters who are joining us on YouTube live stream. So if we can turn to this camera on my right and just wave hello. Hi, I hope you guys will be able to join us in person next week. And now we'll have some time for everyone here to greet each other. So please turn to your neighbor or find someone in the room and share what is something you've successfully let go of or need to let go of. So please have a good sharing. Much for sharing with your neighbors and your community members. There will be a lot more time to share after service during fellowship, so if we can please wrap up our conversations. And at this time, we will also be dismissing Sunday school. So elementary schoolers can follow their teacher, middle school can follow their teacher, and also high school. So we can wave them goodbye. I hope you guys have a good Sunday school, and we'll see you later. And now we will be going into our song before the message. So the song we'll be doing is Season. So I hope that you guys can enjoy it and internalize it as we prepare to hear the words from our pastor. Like the frost on a rose, winter comes for us all. Oh, how nature acquaints us with the nature of patience. Like a seed in the snow, I've been buried to grow. For your promise is loyal, from sea to sequoia. And I know, though the winter is long, even richer the harvest it brings. Though my waiting prolongs, even greater your promise
As I gaze, I am blinded in the light of your brightness, like a fire to the snow. I'm renewed in your warmth, melt the ice of this wild soul till the burden is beautiful. I know, though the winter is long, even richer the harvest it brings. Though my waiting prolongs, even greater your promise for me, like the sea. I believe that my season will come. I can see the promise, I can see the future. You're the God of seasons, I'm just in the winter. If all I know of harvest is that it's worth my patience, then if you're not done working, God, I'm not done waiting. You can see my promise, even in the winter, 'cause you're the God of greatness, even in the major. For all I know of seasons is that you take your time. You could have said this in a second, instead you sent a child. Though the winter is long, even richer the harvest it brings. Though my waiting prolongs, even greater your promise for me, like a seed. I believe that my season will come, and when I finally see my dream, so I believe there's a season to come. Like a seed you were sown for the sake of our soul, from Bethlehem soil grew Calvary's sequoia. Oh.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very much, brothers and sisters. And thank you to our band. Appreciate it. So now it's time for our message. I hope you guys are excited and ready as we receive the words from our pastor, Dr. Ashiel. So if we can please welcome him up with a great round of applause.
Please sit down. Thank you very much. So, I don't know about here. I thought Sunday service is only one time, you know? And so when I went Sunday service to Virginia, I thought, okay, done my service. And now I'm here again. My friends back at home, well, I don't have any friends. My family back at home will be surprised. You did 2 times Sunday service? How much you love church? Apparently I love it so much. Yes, so once again, thank you. I would like to express my gratitude to our amazing true parents, our heavenly parent, and of course, Dr. Achil, to inviting me here this weekend, and to all the members who are here. And of course, some people on YouTube. Thank you very much. It was a good, intensive weekend, I feel, a weekend of rebirth. And as we're also going into time of rebirth, I think it's, and I was asked to share my testimony. Now, I'm not so special. I'm absolutely not special. Everyone else is very special. That's how I feel. And of course, I would love to be giving like a really good testimony. What is a good testimony? I feel like a good testimony is a person who was born believing in true parents, raised by great parents, and saying, I love heavenly parents, just like true mother, and had no problem all their life, and just saying that, I believe this is great. I think that's a good testimony, you know, that's really important. Unfortunately, mine is a little messy. My life is a little messy. And so I feel very embarrassed to say this, because one day my children might see a recording of this and be like, Daddy, you did this? And I'm like, no, of course not. That's AI. AI is really good right now, right? That's all a lie. These Americans, they're all talking a lie. That's what I have to say to my children when they see this again. Okay, so my name is Ryuichi Kishimoto. It's not an easy name to say. Ryuichi. A lot of people say, oh, Italian. And I'm like, nah, man, no. No Italian, it's Japanese. And I'm half Japanese, half British. My father is English, and my mother is Japanese. I have 3 passports. One is British, that says Ryuichi Kishimoto Stevens, and then a Japanese one that says Kishimoto Ryuichi, and a South African one that says Ryuichi Kishimoto Stevens. And then I have a permanent residence in Korea. So, you know, I can go everywhere. Something bad happens in Japan, I can go to Korea. You know, if something happens in Korea, I'll go to England, you know, as a legal immigrant. Anyways, I was born in South Africa, in Johannesburg. My father, even though his family, my grandparents are British, they all moved down to South Africa because at the time it was a good place to live. My grandparents, I'm not proud to say, are racist, right? They are racist people, because that is, at that time when they moved to South Africa, they had apartheid. So whenever I visited, I would hear interesting words there, and I'm so surprised that how you're racist. How can you accept my mom who's not white? And then she'll be like, it's okay, you know. So I thought, this is a weird family. Anyways, everybody has a weird family, right? So South Africa is my birthplace. It is my home country. I haven't visited. I don't live there. Haven't really lived there for long. I lived in many different countries, not in this order, but in the countries that I remember. Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Japan, America, a few places. Indonesia, Malaysia, and also Mozambique, South Africa, of course, and then France, and then what else? Scotland. I never lived in Britain, England. Never went there. The closest was Scotland, and Scotland is, if I say this, the Scottish will be angry, but you know, it's not England. It's the same kind of island, but it's not England. It's an interesting life that I lived. Why? Was my father a missionary? No, not even close. He doesn't believe in God. He doesn't believe in God. The only thing he believes in is a great life on earth, and that's it. Have a good time. I'm not a second generation. I'm a first generation, and I chose to join this faith when I was around 20 years old, and I'm trying to build up to that point. My mother was the one who had the most faith. She's Japanese, and she had joined the church early years, at the time of early years of our movement, and received the 1800 blessing. I don't know what year that is, but it's an 1800 blessing. It's one of the older ones. But my mother is the youngest of 8 siblings. You know, long time ago, everybody had 12 children. So my mother was the youngest of 8. Japanese, and she was the wild one. You know, the youngest is the wisest and also the wildest. If you have children and if you have many children, then you probably know. And if you're the youngest, you probably understand. My mother was that, and she was blessed to a Korean and living in there, but she just it wasn't her thing. She loved her parents. She understood this, but she couldn't get along with her matched her blessing, and she just left. Of course, not just like that. Many years later, she would tell me that it took her some time to decide, but she quit. At the time of the church, it was a really providential time, and we just needed strong warriors, right? So if you're a weak one, then get out of here, kind of thing. Of course, it's not like that. I'm just saying. But my mother was she left. She couldn't call her sisters. She has 3 sisters who were in the church. None of them could call her. None of them who could contact her. Wouldn't contact her. That was normal, I heard. My mother, she didn't leave true parents, but she just couldn't go, and she felt so sorry not fulfilling that wish that true parents have given to her. She was still working in the church in Sail Tour. If you don't know this is one of the church's tourist companies that still stands today. And she was a tourist. She spoke good English, and she met, my father saw her in Hong Kong, apparently. And that's where he was like, you know, hey. And then a few months later, they're like happily married. So I'm like, that's pretty good. Anyways, they were married. After having me and my brother, I have a younger brother, we were traveling still all around the world, living in a year or so in a nation. And because of my father's job, which is in mining tool business, we would always move different countries. And then my mother would always be the one who is trying to establish, going to a new nation, find a place to live, find a school for the kids, all of this kind of things. This little Japanese lady all around the world. She told me that she never forgot. She could never forget her parents. She could never be, and she felt so bad. She would always pray. And I remember days where we will be a unification church member, meaning we will be bowing down to true parents and doing hundoke whenever my father wasn't there. My father drank the holy wine, but he said, "This is the only thing I'll do religious for you," to my mother. Drink the holy wine, that's it. You know, I don't know if they did the 3-day ceremony. I don't really care. I'll be surprised if my dad did it. That's how he doesn't care about anything. But at least he loved my mother that much to do something against his will, was to join a religion. Anyway, so every time he left, we were a unification church member. I didn't know what was going on, but I just went with the flow. That's what you do usually. And if you have a really good Japanese mother like mine, and I'm sure some of us, can you relate with me, is that, you question your mom and she will just give you that stare and be like, shut up, you don't know anything. I'm like, okay. So I was really glad to see my father whenever he came back. He would always go out, even though we're in these nations, and everyone's like, Australia. I also lived in Australia. It was like, oh, you lived in Australia? Is it Sydney? And I was like, Perth. If you're from Perth, I'm sorry, but Perth is like middle of nowhere, right? Oh, you lived in America? Where? In New York, or California? Thank God not. in Wyoming, Casper. And I was like, where's that? Even Americans are like, huh? Where's that? Right? A middle of nowhere. So we didn't have anybody. And my mother would still try to practice. And even though we were there places, my father would go to the mining places, right? Mining mountains. So he would not be at home. So there'll be times where we will just completely be bowing and praying or whatever. And then my father would come back and everything disappears. And it's like, oh, where did the photo goes? You know? So I was really happy when my father came back. And whenever he left, I was like, Dad, don't go. And he looked really happy, right? He's like, oh, you don't want me to go? I'm like, yeah, because we become weird, you know. But that was it. My mother, I heard later on, many years later, that she was longing for true parents, but didn't know what to do. I have 3 aunties in the church. One is big auntie. She is a strong one. Big name in the church. And the other 2 are also in the church. One of them is very, very smart. She has been the secretary of the Japanese leaders for many, many years. And she had a chance one time to meet with True Father. Now, a Japanese person meeting with True Father. You guys in America always see True Father like, hey, Father. I know that's my image, right? And in Japan, they're like God. Like living gods. You can't see them because they can't enter Japan. That's one thing. So my auntie had a time to go to Korea at the time in the early years and meet with True Father at Hannam-dong. Hannam-dong was True Parents' residence. It's still there in those times. And she met with True Father. And, you know, meeting with True Father, True Parents, you're expected to, you know, give a testimony and also sing a song. So my auntie was ready to give a song. And then True Father sat on at the table. And before going into business, my True Father just looked at my auntie and said, talk about your sister. And then she was thinking, okay, he definitely knows the eldest sister. So she said, okay, my sister. And he goes, no, I already know that one. The other sister. And then she goes, okay, I have another sister. And then she said that name. And he goes, I don't care about that one. The other sister. And then my auntie stopped because she never spoke about the youngest, my mother. And she before she said it, Father said, she's waiting for me. She's waiting for me. Call her now. Call her now. And then my auntie in tears said, yes, I will. And then she called my mother. And my mother at that time was in a very difficult situation with my father. A rocky relationship. And was about to offer herself. And so my auntie called her. And she said that True Father wants you back. So we were traveling all around the world, 1 year here, 1 year there, 2 years here, 2 years there. After settling in that year later, my natural instinct is like, okay, where are we going next, right? Let's pack our bags and say goodbye to whatever friends I have. I don't even remember any of my friends all around the world because right now, at that time, there was no smartphones, no nothing. Done. And so we went back to Japan, and my mother was able to once again practice and really not meet with true parents, but practice and come back to the church. And this is more what I saw. And this is when I started to go to many workshops. I hated these workshops, honestly speaking. I thought it was really meaningless because I was young, one thing, naive, yes. And I wasn't really seeking the truth, honestly speaking. I didn't care about the truth. The only thing I cared about was family. Family was the only thing I had and only thing I needed at the time. We were traveling all around the world, meeting new people, speaking a new language, and then saying goodbye within 6 months. And then go to another country, say hi, learn the new language. After you learn language, then it's like time to say goodbye. But it was okay for me because I had my mom who loved my father and my dad who loved my mom. And this is what I only saw. As a guy, I think I didn't notice a lot of things. I'm a simple guy. So I was happy in my little bubble. And my brother as well. We were happy. I think he was happy too. That's what I didn't care. Wherever we went, all around the world, it was just family. And that was great. The time changed when I went to Australia. That was one of the other longest nations I lived in my life. 7 years, and you're like thinking, 7 years? That's not long. That's very long for me. I lived in Japan for 4 years, and then Australia for 7 years. That's the nation I want to return when when I'm too old to walk. And that's when I will go and die, probably. But probably I'll be in Korea. Anyways, of course, that's probably where my children will be. Australia was really good for me, but also very tough. My parents was having a more difficult relationship. Even though my parents, I thought, were blessed families, and even though my mother would always tell me, and I've never seen my mother complain about my father, not even once. And that was good enough for me. That was good enough for me. We were going to be okay. Even at my time when I was growing up, there were a lot of families divorcing, and I thought, whatever, that's unfortunate for you. But it's not going to happen with me. But I think later on, when I was almost 18, before I was kicked out of the house, because that was my father's tradition. He was kicked out when he was 18, and he was like, it was my 16th birthday, and he said, "In 2 years, I'm going to kick you out." I'm like, "What? Before happy birthday? Okay." And then on the 17th, his birthday is like, "1 more year," And I'm like, "What is he talking about, this guy?" And then on my 18th birthday, he's like, "Are you ready? I'm kicking you out." And then I thought, oh wow, he was really saying this. I didn't know he was a traditional guy, British. I didn't know he was traditional, so I apologized. I said, "Dad, I thought you were joking, because Japanese, they never let go of the children." So that's what I thought Mom would do, but Mom was agreeing with this situation, so I said, "Give me 3 months, give me 6 months, I'll get out of the house." And after 3 months, I left the house. I was okay, I was free. My father was like, "And now you earn your own money, I'm not going to support you, you do whatever, but because it's your money, you can do whatever you want." I was like, "Really?" Like, and he's like, "Of course." I was like, "Yes." And I could see my mother panicking a little bit in the background. I was like, "Hey, in your face," right? Because my mother was very strict. She would always tell me that I have to receive the blessing every single moment, whenever she had a chance. When I hit puberty, I had a really long lecture about girls and how dangerous they are. And then when that lecture finished, my father came in and was like, "Don't worry, just go out and get a girlfriend," right? My father would always encourage me to get a girlfriend. And then on the other hand, my mother would say, "No, he's wrong," right? "You have to be blessed." And of course I listened to my mom, because she's the one who's cooking for me. And I can't cook, The most I can go is doing spaghetti, but that's with mayonnaise. That's really bad. So my mother, I would always listen to her. And I didn't really care so much. So I was kicked out, went to university. But every year, every summer, that was around November, December to January, February, because it's Southern Hemisphere, Australia. Summer is in completely opposite, right? So every summer for me was going to Japan. Why? Because every summer in Australia, as a high school student, it's all about partying, getting drunk, doing drugs, and getting laid with girls. So my mother, to protect my virginity, she sent me to Japan to work at my auntie's restaurant, earn some money. I hated that idea, but I loved the money. So that's when I first bought my big box computer. Internet was like 5 minutes to get on. That was the era, and I had good memories working at that restaurant. I met with great people. I met my everlasting Hyung, my older brother there, who was working at the restaurant as well. He's a church member too. And he is like my able figure. Anyways, so that summer I was expecting to be sent to Japan to, of course, earn money. But my father was like, "Nah, don't worry. Go to Africa. I'll send you to meet grandparents." And I was like, "You never sent me to meet with my grandparents. What's going on?" He goes, "Don't worry, just go." So I went. Met my grandparents, met my uncle, and I stayed at my uncle's for like a month. I worked at his company to earn a little bit of cash there too. And in doing so, my uncle one day he was dead drunk, and he's always dead drunk. My father's side, everybody's dead drunk. Either they're drunk or they're doing drugs, but they're happy, no worries, right? And one day he was drunk and a little bit high, and he just said, "I need to talk to you." I was like, "Hey, what do you want to talk? You drunk boy." But he said, "Your dad is cheating on your mom," and I'm like, "That's your life." My uncle, he's not the greatest man to his wife, and I was like, "That's your life. What are you talking about? My dad is not like you." He goes, "No, actually he is. Actually he's the worst. He's been cheating on your mom with different women all your life." And I was like, "Whoa." And then my auntie, well, what an angel. My auntie there in my dad's side, she's passed away, but she slapped my uncle, But then, because I didn't believe him, so I said to my auntie, "Is this real?" And she's in so much tears, and I was like, "Oh wow, that's real. Wow." Being told by a drunk old man, and then confirmed by my auntie that I love so much. And she made me drink a lot too, because for Westerners, for white people who don't have God, drinking is the medicine, right, for hardship. So she made me drink a lot, and I drank a lot. I loved drinking at that time, not now, of course not. But I didn't get drunk at all. It was so shocking for me. I sent an email to my father, "Dad, what's going on?" And when he saw my email, he immediately called my uncle, and I could hear him screaming over the phone, screaming. And my uncle, "Why did you say that to him? None of your business, blah, 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 blah." He never talked to me. He actually talked to me 3 months later. One day he just showed up at my house, and he was like, "Hey, Richie, let's go drink." And I was like, Dad, what's going on, Dad?" And he was like, "It's none of your business, man. It's none of your business. Why are you even sad? Are you a pufter?" Pufter in British, it means a queer softie. My father would always say that to me. When I didn't have a girlfriend, he would always say, "You must be gay. You must be gay." And this is what he always said to me. And I always brushed that off. It's British humor. Probably not, but it's just him, I guess. So that was it. I couldn't confirm it with him. I said, "Dad, what's going on?" And email, and he didn't even send me anything. He just said, "How's Africa?" I was like, wow, this is my dad that I loved all my life. I thought he loved me, and I was shocked. I quickly went back to Japan from Africa. My uncle paid all my ticket, of course. And I met my mom, and my mom at that time was served with a divorce paper. Later on she told me, and she was confused. And I said, "Mom, what's going on?" And she didn't know what to do. And I was like, "Mom, Dad's cheating on you. He's actually with someone else right now." I saw my mom just drop dead and just crying. And I was shocked. I was so shocked. I didn't know what to do. She didn't know what to say to me. I was 17, 18. Some people say, "Grow up." But for me, I'm going to tell you again, I just had family. And my family that day completely broke. I don't know how I lived my life after that in Australia for 2.5 years. I was drunk every day. I was doing drugs every day. I was doing all the things that I was not supposed to do. But who cares? Now I know, and I can say, I was trying to get rid of that pain that I was having. I didn't even know what that pain was. Because every time I see my father, he would just be smiling and be like, "Hey, how's life?" And I'd be like, "Dad, I'm hurting." And he's like, "Ha ha ha, pufter." And I thought I was a pufter. I thought I was gay. I thought something was wrong with me. And that was hard for me. I opened up the Divine Principle. I opened it up. I read it and threw it away. I didn't answer any of my questions. I was like, "Oh, what's going on? Why am I in this pain?" And after 1.5 years, so this came to me. I think it's because of this family thing. You know what? And I didn't know what to do. Mind you, I'm naive. I'm very young. You guys, some of you are younger than me. At that time, you're probably very mature. No worries. I was stupid and naive. And I didn't know what to do. So it came to me, it's because I'm still related to this family. I have to cut them off my life. That's the only way that I could be sane. I sent an email to my dad. Dad, don't talk to me anymore. Don't come over to me anymore. I already found a new house. I knew where he could not find me. I already moved most of my stuff there. It was easy back then to cut off from your family. Today it's, GPS and in your pocket, you're done. But back then that's too expensive to do so, right? You could just move one block away and you disappear. I even changed my university, different university. I've done everything that I had to do to disappear from my parents. But as a Japanese, I had to say goodbye to my mom. So I traveled to Japan. I saw my mom. I think I visited her, and I think looking back today, I wanted her to say something. And my mom didn't do anything wrong. But the only thing she did to me was, I love you and I love your dad, and this is the way to go. And then for me, my dad, couldn't communicate with him at all. And my mom, so I also hated her as much as I hated my dad. Equally. It's not one-sided. It's not one-sided. And I just said to my mom, I said, from today, you're not my mom. This is how I can be sane. This is how I can live a life. Because I don't want to do drugs like I'm doing right now. I don't want to be drinking my pain away anymore. I don't want to find myself trying to jump off a building anymore. I don't want to try and find myself driving a car at high speed with alcohol bottles everywhere and trying to kill myself. I don't want to be like that anymore. And my stupid mind is saying to me, this is the only way. This is the only way. So I said goodbye to my mom. I met my brother and I said, you and me, we're brothers, no worries. This is my phone number, right? Don't show it to mom. If you need something, I probably can't do it. I'll try and help you. And I was feeling good. You don't know how great I felt that day. I still remember looking at the sky. It was bright and beautiful. It's like, whoa, fantastic. I'm free at last. I don't have to worry about anything. I don't want to do these bad things anymore. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be confused anymore. So I didn't tell anybody except for my cousin, who's a bad boy too. He's a second generation, by the way. He is one of the worst ones. But today he has faith. He's back, so I can say this. But he and I are the worst ones in the family. And so I went to his house, and I knew he wouldn't, say anything. But he did, actually. He told his mom that I was at his house. So she called me. Richie, I want to see you. Now, I don't know about you guys, but having a lot of aunties in the church doesn't mean a good thing. It means that it's, there's more protection, right? There's more walls that you can't run away. And she's always been trying to teach me all kind of things. And when she called me, I was like, how do you know I was in Japan? Oh my gosh. All right, fine. What do you want? And she's like, I want to see you. And I'm like, I don't want to see you. I know what you're going to try to do, but I don't want to see you. I had a gut feeling that this is going to be very dangerous for me to meet my auntie. I know it's not going to be like, hi. It's always going to be, hi, true parents are great, right? And I'm like, that's your true parents, not mine. But she lured me with food. Food is love, guys. Food is love. And if you have difficult children, go for the most expensive food that they love. They will come eventually. And that's my greatest advice. She said, I'll buy you sashimi sushi. And I was like, okay, where do you want me to go? And she took me to a very nice restaurant. Very nice restaurant. I'm really happy if she took me to a place where sushi goes around, right? Kaiten sushi. I'm happy with that. But she took me to a place where people bring the sushi. And I was like, whoa, that's going to be good. So I ordered all this stuff that was extra zeros. And I was like, wow, yeah, this is going to be good. And then she said, I need to talk to you. And I'm like, Auntie, not now. Can I first eat my food? Then I'll listen to you. No, I need to talk to you right now. And then I said, what do you want? She held my hand and said, I love you. And even looking back now, I was like, what is this woman talking about? I'm like, I really said to her in Japanese, "Yokatta ne," meaning that's good. What do you want? And she said, "I love you. あなたを愛してるよ. I love you." And I was like, you don't hear that word in Japanese because Japanese people don't express that much of love. Western husbands. My wife is half Japanese. I know what you're feeling. She doesn't. You don't hear that word in Japanese so often. 愛してるよ. And I was like, cringe. The second time she said it, like, why are you saying this? Don't do this, auntie. Don't do this. Holding my hand, I was like, let go of my hand, please. And then the third time she said, I love you, I cried. I cried so much. Tears were just bursting out my eyes. And I couldn't control it. And I was thinking, what is going on? What is going on? And my auntie just said it again, I love you so much. And I'm like, don't do this, please. Don't do this. I don't need this now. Looking back at the time, I know it was that love that I was lacking. I really searched for that love, and I couldn't find it from my dad. I couldn't find it from my mom. I couldn't find it anywhere. And I was finding it from this woman that I have casted out, saying that you have nothing to do with me. And she was saying, I love you. And I was just crying and crying. And I look back today, wow. And I was moved by it. I don't know why, but I was crying and crying, couldn't control it. People were like looking at us. I was like, oh, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing, but I couldn't stop it. And then after I finished crying, and she said, you are my son. And I was just, wow. I didn't know what to say. It was just moving for me, just so moving. And looking back now, I realized that was it. I was happy because I had my family. I was happy because my mom loved my father. And seemingly my father loved my mom. And that was the ideal family. I didn't care if we were traveling around the world, if I didn't have any friends or I didn't have anything at all, living in big or small houses. I didn't care because that was my ideal family. When my mother said, you're going to receive the blessing in the future. And then my father in the background like, no, you're not. But I'll be like, no worries, because this is a family that I want to have as well. And that was gone, right? And so when she said this, I was just in tears. And she talked a little bit more, and she said, I really want you to go for a workshop. And I was shocked. This is a really beautiful moment that you're saying to me, and now you're saying another workshop. I don't know about you guys, but I've been thrown into many different divine principle workshop, 3-day workshop, 7-day workshop, 21-day workshop with my cousins. And my cousins, they're experts, right? They know how to go through these workshops. They always told me. I always ask questions because my Japanese was not good. Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? And then in the break, my cousin will just put me up against the wall and be like, shut up, right? You're killing us. You're killing us right now. Don't say a word. I don't know what's going on. It doesn't matter. No one understands what's going on. Okay? No one understands this divine principle. Just be quiet. Pretend you understand what's going on. And the time will quickly finish. I'm like, okay. And that's how I was able to go through all these divine principle workshops. I've attended many. I can give you the certificates, I have no idea what happened, but I was always smiling. And they're like, do you understand? I'm like, yes. So I said to my aunt, 무리다요. I said, no, it can't. It's not going to happen. She really wanted me to go for this workshop. But she also said that even if you don't like this, I'm not going to stop loving you. Even if you hate this church after this workshop, you're still going to be my son. And that was beautiful for me at that time. I didn't know why, but that was really beautiful. I was like, wow. Are you promising? Yes. So I made her write it on a napkin there and made her sign it too. She was like, do I have to sign it? I'm like, yes. If you love me, sign it. Saying that I'm not going to say anything. She said, I won't even ask you to be blessed. And I even told her, so you're saying, I wanted to be clear, I'm Western. I said, you're saying that I can just hook up with any other girl and bring them here and you're still going to love her as well? And she said, yes. I was like, whoa. This crazy Unification Church member You know, she is a crazy woman into the church saying this. I was like, oh, I have to tell my cousins, you know, and how happy they would hear this. So I said, okay, that's a good deal. Okay, so where do you want me to go? And she's like, Korea for 40 days in Cheongpyeong. And I was like, huh, Korea? Oh, isn't that where your parents are from? That's what I said, my auntie. And she's like, yeah, please go. So I'm like, okay, when do you want me to go? Like a month ago or no? And she just handed me a ticket. And she had my passport. And I was like, how'd you get my passport? It's like, your cousin. I'm like, he was given $200 to do this. But, you know, at the end, he saved my life. No worries, right? So my passport and my ticket was there. And the next day, I went to Cheongpyeong. I got on the bus in Incheon Airport. First thing I thought was, whew, what is that smell? It turned out to be kimchi. That's my first impression of Korea. Whoa, what is that smell? Got on the bus, full of Japanese. Later on, I knew we're all going to the same place. I thought, wow, Korea, you know, Japanese people love Korea. I didn't know that. But it turned out everybody was a church member. And my seat next to me was empty. And I was waiting for the bus. And there was the one lady who came a little bit late. And sat down. I looked at her, and she was my mom. And I was like, why? Ogasan, nani shite no? I was like, Mom, what are you doing? And she goes, oh, why are you here? To me as well. And I asked her, no, what are you doing here? And she goes, oh, your aunt, you know, her sister, bought me a ticket to go to Korea and attend the 40-day workshop. And at that moment, I was like, wow. I knew my auntie was a smart woman, and she did all these kind of things, you know, to my cousins and other people. I never thought it was going to happen to me, and I was like, whoa, because my other cousins would say, you know, when she does it, it's going to happen, and I was like, whoa, I didn't know this was going to happen. I thought, wow, that woman is smart. Whew. You know, I was like, did she get your passport too? Anyways. Then, just before I'm finishing, I also said I have this one older brother in the church, right? When I was going back and forth Australia to Korea, you know, to keep my virginity, that was my mom's purpose. For me, it was getting money. I was always working at my auntie's restaurant. I always stayed with this one brother. He was a Jacob child. He wasn't second gen. And he was an older brother to me. And I would talk about the church. I'll trash talk about the church many times. I'll even accuse a lot of things. And he would never say anything, not a word. He would not join in me, my complaining, my venting. He would just, you know, listen to me and says, okay, let's go eat ramen. You know, he would always go eat ramen. And he will say, just join me, let's go eat. And while eating, I'll even smoke in front of him, drink in front of him. I'll do all the things that I thought it will piss a Unification Church member off. And I'll see the true colors of these people. That was my purpose. I wanted to see, because my mom was saying Unification Church members are the greatest people. I'm like, he's the closest one I've ever seen other than my cousins. So I was testing him. He didn't budge. He didn't say anything. He didn't judge me. He just waited until I finished my cigarette. He finished until I finished my drinking. And then he will say, let's go eat. So I naturally just completely followed him, subjugate. I was just, wow, this man is great. And also in Australia, I was in an old boys school. So I see all kinds of different men, right? So one thing I noticed that every man loves women, no matter what. So I thought, this guy, surely he'll have any pornographic material in his house. Whenever he left for shopping, for groceries, I will go through all his stash. I'll open up his closet, go behind the doors, even go through his DVD collection and open every single thing, looking for something. And every time I was there, I could never find a single bit. I thought he was gay, but no, he was, you know, he was preparing for a matching and blessing. So I was like, wow, there is such kind of guy. Like, there is such kind of, like a saint. I thought that world was dirty, but this guy, wow. You know, later on, many years later, now we have a different relationship. I'm a sometimes I'm an older brother to him as well. And he confessed to me later on, said, whenever you came, I threw away everything. Whenever you came, I made sure there was no magazine, no DVD in the house. And when I heard this, it didn't make me feel like cheated. I was, oh, wow, you did that for me. Because that was really beautiful for me. He did that for me. And I'm so grateful for that as well. And I don't look at less, I just completely trust this man. Anyways, why am I saying this? Because when I got on that bus and then I was talking to my mom, the guy in front of me turned around and says, Richie, you know, and he was my Hyung. I was like, Hyung, wow, what a coincidence. Why are you here? And he goes, your auntie bought me a ticket and paid for my 40-day workshop. And even she said, if I want to stay more, I could stay more. And now you're here. Let's have fun. And I was like, wow, auntie, that's amazing. I went to the 40-day workshop. I'll end soon, sorry. I went for the 40-day workshop. I was amazed with the Chanyang session. That was 2005. I saw the Chanyang. I thought, this is a cult. Has to be a cult. This Chanyang, this is weird. I looked at my mom and said, I told you this is weird. And she's like, it's okay, it's okay. And I was complaining, and then my Hyung came to me, slapped me on the head and said, don't worry. I said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And even if I'm in the holy ground, I will always find not the righteous person, the devil person behind the buildings. There'll be some Korean people just, you know, smoking. And I'll be like, hey, you know, and then we're like, oh, yeah, you know. I'll be smoking, and I could hear somebody running, and it was my Hyung. And he's a karate black belt. His legs are so thick he could break bats, you know the bats, the baseball bats, and he kicked me, and I would literally fly several feet, and I would stand up like, Hyung, what's going on? He said, this is a holy ground, you can't smoke here. And I'm like, yes, sir. And every time I did Chanyang, I would be in the back, and he will slap me in the head, go to the front. I'll be like, yes, sir. Every time I would be talking to girls, the young girls, young second generation, I'll be like, hey, where are you from? And my Hyung will come to punch me in the stomach. I'll fly around. The Western girls will be frightened and run away. And I'll be like, Hyung, what happened? He goes, this is a holy ground. You don't talk to girls. Yes, sir. That was my 40 days. I asked him what to do, and he guided me. And I realized this 40 days was not a good 40 days. I was alcohol-free, cigarette-free, drug-free, and what I was realizing each day was that this ain't bad. I think this is what I really want. I don't know true parents yet. I don't know God yet, but I think this is a good life. So I felt like I want to do another 40 days. So I did another 40-day workshop. And my Hyung said to me, you know, your last 40 days was not a good 40 days for you. You have to do another good 40 days. So I said, okay, I'll do another good 40 days. This will be the time for me to decide if I want to receive this blessing and follow this church or not. So every day was a battle for me. I did my best, my absolute best. On the 37th day of the 40-day workshop, I came to my Hyung. I said, Hyung, I don't know. Going back to Australia now, I think I'll last 1 week. I know myself. I'll probably drink again. You know, my environment is not good. I don't know if I'm going to last that long. And then he said, then pray at the Zhongshuan. At that time it was called Zhongshuan. Pray at the Zhongshuan and then ask for something, because God will answer. But then he grabbed my neck. He's a rough one. He grabbed my neck and said, but don't break it. So don't ask a stupid question. Don't ask a stupid promise. Don't ask for a stupid thing, because if you do so, and God will make sure, and then if you make a stupid promise and you break it, that's it, brother. And I was like, yes, yes, sir. So I went to the church when I prayed, God, I can't see you. I can't hear you. Wow, I don't even know if you exist. But one thing I know is that if you do exist, I want to change my life. Because I know I can't by myself. I'll do anything if you show me the path. I'll do anything. And the very next day, there's a guy at Cheongpyeong who came to me and said, "Hey, do you want to volunteer at Cheongpyeong for 1 year?" And I was about to say, "Hell no." Hell no. My mind was like, what are you talking about? This place is crazy. I ain't gonna do that. I was about to say, what? You know, hell, oh, wait. Then flashback my prayer, and I was like, oh no, that's too fast, God. That's too fast. I said yes. And he was surprised. I was surprised. I was sad. I was really sad. And that is how I began my life at Cheongpyeong. What I really want to say is that my aunties, the day that she said yes to what I said to her at that sushi restaurant, she was shaking. I didn't know that, because she said yes to what I said to her. I'm not going to follow the church. And if I don't feel anything at this workshop, I ain't going to do anything. I'm not going to be joining this church. So the moment I got on that airplane, my auntie and her sisters, my other aunties, scary people, they all offered devotion. Every day, bowing conditions. And my auntie, she said that she collapsed many days because she was offering so much, but she felt it was not enough. That's how important for her this was for me. And then, so miraculously, I think because of her devotion, and I know there are many parents have children similar to like myself, and what I see today at Cheongpyeong, and I've seen all my years in Cheongpyeong, and of course there's part 2, part 3 as well. I'm not going to go in there today, but devotion really changes. Devotion really changes, and honestly, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. The only thing I did was offer that one little prayer. I would pray, but my prayers are 5 seconds prayers in Cheongchuan all the time. I just go in because everyone told me to go in there and pray. I'm like, that was easy, right? But that day was my longest prayer. I did the 30-second prayer. My longest prayer in my life. That 30-second prayer turned out to be how many years now? 18 years now. So, God is good, but God is real. Heavenly parents are there, but it's the Jongsong, the devotion that really I feel like changed. Now it's my wife who's offering a lot of devotion, so I won't, fall off. But anyways, that's a different story. Thank you for listening. Once again, I'd like to thank you for listening to this really not a nice testimony. I should be able to say, wow, God is, this and that, this and this. But it is what it is. But at the end of the day, I love true parents. I love true mother. I love true father as well. They're the best. They're amazing. I'm still not there yet. I'm still growing. I still want to be the best child of God and our true parents. And I'm hoping that we can all be there together. Thank you very much.
So much for those amazing words, that amazing testimony. Wow, I was enraptured the whole time. Wow, thank you so much for sharing. We can give him another round of applause. That was so amazing. Yes. So now we'll have some time to share key takeaways. So you can turn to the person next to you and share for 2 minutes anything that you gain from the message, and then you can switch after 2 minutes and the other person will be able to share. So just take some time now. If you haven't already, you can switch to your other partner so they can also have some time to share. We can wrap up our conversations. Thank your partner, give them a high five, and if it's really, really riveting, we can take it up again after service during fellowship at dinner. So now, if there is anyone who wants to share their reflection with the entire congregation, we can have maybe 2 people to share anything that they took away from the message, and the ushers can hand you a mic. Is there anyone who feels inspired to share? Yes, Mr. Miller?
Yes, it is. Good. I sat here and I listened. And this man's struggle helped give meaning to my struggle. And I look at all that I've done wrong, but I held on. I did things that I cannot be proud of. And I've put on a good show at times. And I've failed more than once. And yet, what he said here validated my struggle. My struggle was not his struggle. It was my struggle. What I struggled with. What I fought with. And he validated that by sharing his struggle. And so, the only thing I can say about this is that he who struggles in whatever way he must for righteousness, whatever that means, will ultimately be given a gift, a pearl of great price, ultimately be given that gift. And Heavenly Father's gift to me was my son. In whom I am well pleased. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing with us, Mr. Miller. Yes, we have Javier.
Well, I'm very grateful for everything that I have been listening. And at the same time, I think the church is doing exactly what I am praying to do, because for the new generation and for the old generation, I'd like to see if all of you stay away to talk about religious issues, because the Unification Church is supposed to be for the Jewish, it's supposed to be for the Christian, it's supposed to be invite the Catholic, everybody. And everybody can keep the belief system that they want to keep, but everybody have a family, and everybody have problem with the family. And the only church that I see today talking about these kind of issues is the Unification Church. And for that reason, I am here. And I invite all of you, the new generation, that you look a little bit sometime out of the picture, that you don't want to take serious what you're supposed to take serious, but I trust in all of you, because you have the knowledge about what's going on in many churches today. I visited many churches, and I have been in Panera talking with different people. A few days ago, a lady said to me, in front of Ulysses and in front of other people, said to me, I am in a church of 1,000 members. And I say to that person, well, that's great that you are in a church of 1,000 members. But tell me one thing. I know in the church that I go that more than 50% of the people in my church, they're married. What about your church? The lady say, you know what? We have a problem with that. In the church of 1,000 members, she cannot say that 50% of the members, they are married. She said, we have a lot of single parents. We have a lot of problems in that church, and they have 1,000 members. So you can pay attention what the brother is talking here with us, how important it is, understand where you are living, and understand the present, past, and future of the people. And at the same time, be focused that you are in the best place. Don't forget that. You are in the best place. This is the best church in Washington, D.C., and you are the best people that I ever met. Don't forget that. Keep going.
Thank you so much for sharing and for reminding us what a special community we have here. Is there anyone else who feels super strongly that they'd like to share with all of us? I mean, you're free to share with each other individually as well. Oh, yes, we have someone over here.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Pastor Thomas from New Jersey. Well, many of you know me, Pastor Seal. Honors to you. Wonderful ministry that you got going here. I love it. I drive many, many miles. But all I got to say to the veteran here, the veteran I have to say here, and the brother, what's your name? The guest speaker?
Oh,
Richie. Richie. Yes. You all both were saying about struggles. So let me share this with you very briefly. Gotta sit down. Your struggle, his struggle, all of our struggles, even the struggles that get ready to come. I was at a place yesterday, baby was just born. And she just kicking, trying to grow up real fast. But she has no idea what she's about to be faced with. And we all been faced with a lot of struggles. Everybody got a story to tell. People that wrote books about their stories. More people write more books. And I see it every day. People struggling. People talking about Walmart. People talking about Target. They go shopping. I don't want to bring into racism. But Pastor Seal, your church is international. They need more churches like this. I'm a visionary person. That's why I'm up here speaking now. You know about the silent prayer? Anybody know about that? The silent prayer? That's the most golden prayer in the world. It's called the silent prayer, where you go in, where you wash your brains from top to bottom. You meditate. That's called the wash prayer. You meditate. You don't think about nothing. It's almost like you're comatose. When you get into that, you forget about your struggles, forget about the worries of the world. I'm going to be brief, like I said. Jesus Christ never committed a sin, not one sin on planet Earth. But we commit sins in our struggles. And God had us go through these struggles for a reason. We didn't know any better. But anyway, just want to say a short prayer. Everybody close their eyes real quick. Silent prayer. That means nobody speak. Y'all ready? Meditate is your prayer. To God be the glory. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who shared. Now we will be transitioning into our community highlights and announcements. So first community highlight is, yes, Next Gen had a game night this past Friday. And as you can see, there were many people who came to attend. There were actually 13 new guests who came to the house that day. So it was, yes, it was very great, very amazing. Lots of love and energy was shared. And I think next time, if we get even more guests, we'll have to move it to the times because, yeah, we're just so overflowed. So yeah, I'm really grateful. And I think we're really grateful to our CIG team as well for inviting so many new people, as well as the guests that they have with them today. Colin, we're so grateful that you're joining us. So yes, we're really appreciative of this team for all the energy that they're bringing and hope that you guys can continue to support them. Yes, so next highlight, we had the Chunbo special workshop from Friday, February 21st to the 23rd. Yes, as you can see, all these lovely attendees. I believe it was an amazing workshop. I hope that everyone who attended was able to have a great experience. And for those who attended, there's a QR code here that you can scan in order to submit your reflection. So if they're asking that you can submit anything that you gained or experienced during the workshop, so you can take a little bit of time now to scan this. Is there a bulletin with this on it, or there is? Okay, so there's also a bulletin with the QR code as well in case you miss it here. But just take a little bit and scan it, and I'll wait for you. Okay, I hope everybody got it. If you didn't get it, please ask someone to send you the link or ask some of the AP staff.
It should be in the emails.
And it should be in the email as well, so you should be able to access it. So thank you for that. Next, we have a couples night hosted by DME Next Gen next Tuesday. So for all of the couples in the crowd, I see lots of them. This is for you. It's a time for us young people to offer something back to you for all the amazing things that you do for us. And we hope that you guys can come attend. So it'll be $10 per couple. You can sign up with this QR code, and there'll be live music, there'll be an amazing dinner, and there'll be activities. And I think it'll be a great time to relax and reconnect with your spouse and have us young people serve you for once. So yes, I hope many people come and attend that event. Take a little bit of time to scan that. Yes. There is also babysitters. So if you have a young one who cannot be left by themselves, feel free to bring them as well, and they will be watched and you'll be able to enjoy yourself. So please come, please come. Oh, Young Men can come and explain. Yes, this is hosted by, I think organized by Young Men, so.
What's happening, y'all? What's happening? What's happening? So we originally had this vision while I was on GPA. Me and a bunch of other people from DMV, we were in New Jersey, and we put on this couples night because we believe a lot of people in the community, they're busy with work or their kids. We wanted to create an environment where they could just kind of relax for an evening. And then we also had babysitters as well too. So don't ever let that be an excuse. Bring your kids. Bring no matter how little they are, even if they're 0 years old. But it's gonna be an amazing night. There's gonna be an elite dinner. There's gonna be waiters. You will be served. There's going to be games, there's going to be prizes, and there's going to be some connection with your spouse as well too. So we all want that, and I really, if y'all have any questions, come up to me after service, but I really would like if y'all could come. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And yes, it's exciting. I'm excited for that. Another announcement, Project Phoenix, save the date. This will be occurring on March 8th. So it's an event that helps to connect the older and younger generations, helps you to experience healing and growth and bond as a community. So I've heard things in the past that it's really inspiring for both the younger and older generations to participate in this, to be able to connect with each other better, understand each other more. So make sure you save this date, March 8th. This will be happening here. Yes, at the Times. And then this is also the special grace ceremony schedule. These are all the upcoming dates. So if you are curious, they are here. Save them in your calendar and figure out which one you'd want to attend until March 30th. We'll be having all of these consistently. And I believe that is the end of our community highlights. And now we'll be going into reflection and offering. So if I can have the ushers come up to the boxes. If you'd like to give a physical offering, you can give it at one of these offering boxes on the side. If you'd like to give online, there will be a QR code as well as a text to give option on the screen. So we can take a few minutes to give your tithes and also to reflect a bit about the message that we heard. If I can have the ushers come to the middle and invite Dr. Shield to give us a praying for our offering.
Let us pray. Our most beloved Heavenly Parent, our precious and victorious true parent of heaven and earth and mankind, our Lord Jesus Christ, Saint and Sage, Absolute Good Spirit, we so deeply grateful that we can gather today and hear your word. It's amazing testimony, Heavenly Parent. I pray that this word can stay with us, that we can learn and we can truly do our best every day to becoming that son, that daughter who can truly bring joy to you and to our true parents and to our parents. I pray that you can receive this offering of your sons and daughters, that this offering may be used for the advancement of the providence here in this community. We thank you so much from the bottom of our heart with gratitude for the pour this in my name, Sheila Kolaje, attending our Holy Mother Hand. Jew. Amen. Amen. Asher, before we close, is anybody here? I see a few new faces here coming here for the first time today. Can we welcome them? Yeah. Can you just maybe rise up? Is it your wife? Can somebody give them just a mic very quick just to introduce themselves? Can we give them a mic? Yeah. Just say your name and where you're from. Yeah.
I'm Joy from Puerto Rico.
From Puerto Rico? Wow. Hallelujah. Wow. Thank you for joining us. Yes.
I'm Ray from Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. Thank you for joining us today. Anyone else here for the first time? Ulysses, not the first time. From Puerto Rico too. Oh, you have a friend here now. Ulysses. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, back to the band.
Thank you so much. And yes, with that concludes our Sunday service. So we will be finishing with a closing song. So if everyone can please rise and join us as we sing I Am Yours.
How do I forget so fast who you are and what that's worth? 'Cause there's an evidence of you in every corner of this life. So why do I still try to prove that I don't deserve your time? 'Cause I am yours and you will always be mine. Seems like madness, I'm invited to the table by your side. 'Cause I am yours and you will always be mine. I'm a man whose one ambition is to dance with my divine. 'Cause I am yours and you are mine.
Sometimes I'm walking on a ledge, but I'm afraid to just look down. It's like I think I'm in control. I'm giving gravity to doubt. But you love me where I am, enough for you to not look back. And it's the only kind of love that I have ever felt like that. 'Cause I am yours and you will always be mine. Like madness, I'm invited to the table by your side. 'Cause I am yours, you will always be mine. I'm a man whose one ambition is to dance with my divine. 'Cause I am yours, and you are mine.
No, don't let the rain come, 'cause we got our reservations. But the water that we need is bound to overtake us. If I had to write a story of our greatest love in time, I would have to sing of you. Oh, I'm this branch and you're divine. And the romance that we had, oh, it's easy by design. I was fortunate to find you. I'm still blown away, you're mine.
'Cause I am yours, and you will always be mine. Seems like madness, I'm invited to the table by your side. 'Cause I am yours,
Thank you, brothers and sisters. I hope you guys have a good rest of your Sunday. There will be dinner served downstairs, as well as a fellowship meeting with Dr. Ashil in the green room with dinner. So please bring your new guests to Dr. Ashil and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you.